Coming up on MHS1,
we take a look at the new makerspace.
we talk about a club that goes more in depth,
And the state record holder Matt Gaddick joins us.
and that's all coming up on MHS1. Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, October 27th, and I'm Allie Tauber.
And I'm Wilson Galvan, and you're watching MHS1. A new addition to the library had administrators hoping to provide a creative way for students to be more active in the classroom. Andrew Watson and Riley Mulligan tell us more about the makerspace.
McKinney High just got its own makerspace to help students in creating projects.
So the makerspace, what we wanted to do is we wanted to create something where kids can come and create in a way that shows they're learning. So it's more than just, some kids really like to write papers, and that's awesome, and some kids like to take tests, but some kids like to build things. And with a makerspace, you can take the learning that you've learned in your classes, bring that into the makerspace, and then create something that kind of exemplifies that. We have crafts. We have yarn, sewing machines, material, we have Play-Doh, we have Legos. We're working on, we've already ordered and are bringing in some things that are called Little Bits.
Makerspace is very big in our district within the elementary campuses. All of the elementary campuses have makerspaces. This is something new in secondary, and we just wanted to create something for our kids to all be able to use. So let's say that a teacher has a project that they want their kids to work on, and so some of those materials may not be accessible to certain students. They may not have the money to purchase those items to create their project, and so this is a space for those kids to be able to come in and use the supplies that we have and complete their project.
It's very helpful because a lot of the times, like myself and other students, you don't have the money to go out and buy stuff for a project, and instead of doing like PowerPoints and presentations, it's a lot nicer to do hands-on stuff and be able to work in a room with your classmates.
So we have two different ways you can use the makerspace. One is we're working on a before and after school type situation. Ms. Spain and I plan to keep the makerspace open until 4, maybe once or twice a week. The other thing they can do is their teachers can plan. They email me, they email Ms. Spain, and then I bring the Technocats and we go up there and we plan with those teachers. So it's a collaborative effort. And we will come up with a challenge that meets the needs of their actual assignment. Ms. Spain and I work with those teachers to come up with challenges that will help the kids kind of understand and express their learning in a creative way.
This has been Andrew Watson and Riley Mulligan reporting for MHS1.
Many AP World students have their hands full with the first project of the year. Here's Mary Beth Plaster and Emma Triano with more information on the assignment.
Over the past couple of weeks, students of the AP World History classes have been hard working in their intricate projects over ancient empires of the world.
Basically, it's like a museum type project for AP World, and we basically are assigned an empire or a city or a period of time, and we have to make an exhibit at a museum out of it. I like that it's really creative. You get to make something fun out of it, and it's not just like a simple, writing an essay on something. It kind of gives you a chance to be creative and get to know people better because it's in like a group project.
The point of the project was to educate ourselves more about the different empires, and so we get to learn more about the economics, the culture, and the religion, and just a lot of different things that we don't get to learn through the books or through the lectures in the class.
AP World History teacher Emily Tolheisen discusses the benefits and her experience with the project.
So this is actually a project that Mr. McGowan brought to the team, and just museums are such an important part of history and of how we display history to people, and we think that this is the most hands-on and creative way to teach students about the empires. There are a lot of ways that they could just sit down and get raw information, but that's not really the goal here. It's to get them to engage in it more. This is kind of a real-world application for them, so this is something where if they are interested in how museums work and putting together information in a nice, organized fashion, this might be where they get a taste for that. And so this might inspire somebody to one day work in a museum. It seems to be a lot of fun for students, and any excuse to break out the scented markers, right?
This has been Mary Beth Plaster and Emma Triana reporting for MHS1.
Now here's Michelle with sports.
Thanks, Wilson. 13 line swimmers have already qualified for the TISCA swim meet. Their next meet is Thursday, November 2nd against Mesquite ISD. The Lionettes volleyball team played their final game against Plano Senior on Tuesday night. They ended their season with a record of 5-10. A record-breaking game by Matt Gaddick led the Lions to victory last week against Plano East. Here's Riley Mulligan and I with the story.
McKinney High School's running back Matt Gaddick.
Matt Gaddick. Matt Gaddick.
Matt Gaddick.
Colleges remember this name, Matt Gaddick.
Last Friday night, a Lion football player made history, rushing 599 yards.
I had no idea I was close to the record until the second to last play of the game. I know it was 3rd and 1, and my coach told me you have one chance to get 25 yards on the last carry, and I got 31, and then they announced it on the giant speaker, and then everyone started going crazy, and that's when I realized I broke the record. I went into the game just ready to play like I always am. We just knew we could run the ball on these guys. We went into the week knowing we could just pound it down their throat, and it just worked out. And at the end of the game, we just seemed to accomplish a really high goal.
Going into the game, we weren't really thinking about our record or breaking anything. All we were thinking about was just moving the guys inside and opening the hole and just running the ball. That's usually our game plan, because if we control the ball, we can do anything.
Well, it wasn't something that we really thought about as the game went on. We were just trying to score every time we had the ball. That's offensively what we want to do. We want to put points on the board, and so we found out before our last series that he was 59 yards away from breaking the record, and we said, well, let's give him a chance to go get it.
Matt has received a lot of recognition regarding his record-breaking game.
It's been crazy. I mean, all the news people coming up to me and getting all these followers on Twitter, it's just kind of overwhelming. I didn't really expect it to go this viral. I've gotten more interest from schools, but no major offers right now.
Everyone has been doubting Matt, and they've been putting other running backs in front of him. And then we told Matt this the beginning of the year that we were going to try to make him the best running back in the district. He kind of showed other running backs and coaches and everyone else that he's an amazing back, and that he can do anything he wants when he has the ball in his hands, and that if a linebacker's on him or like a DB, that he can make a move.
I think it's something that Matt can have for a long time. I think one piece of advice that that I encourage him with is that not let that be the best night of his life. We're proud of him, and hopefully going forward he'll get some college offers and have an opportunity to play college football, and he will.
The emotional feel of breaking the record wasn't as sweet as getting the win, because we're closer to getting into playoffs, and we have more wins in district than we have in a really long time, and it's just more better for the team that we got in the playoffs. But I mean, the record's good for the O-line and me too, and it's just a really cool thing to have.
This has been Michelle Brooks and Riley Mulligan reporting for MHS1. The Lions football team plays Allen away tonight at 7:30. They are looking for one more win in regular season play to clinch a playoff berth for the first time in 8 years. Concussions are a growing concern among MHS athletes. Sam Richards, Lexi Villarreal, and Sydney Beck highlight this common sports injury.
The physical nature of athletes can lead to a common injury across athletics: concussions.
A concussion is some sort of direct or indirect hit to the brain that can cause either temporary or long-term dysfunction inside in the brain, and it can take many different forms and stuff, just depending on what part of the brain it is and stuff like that. When you get a concussion, it can affect you in many different ways, whether it be from being able to concentrate, being able to sleep, being able to stand up straight.
It made me really tired. You're not really allowed to do much, so took a lot of showers, slept a lot. Usually the fogginess lasts a little bit less than a week, maybe a couple days, and then it really takes like 2 or 3 weeks to get you back to 100%. It's like living in a fog for a couple days. Everything's just moving frame by frame or slow motion.
Well, it makes your head hurt all the time, and you're very sensitive to loud noises and sunlight. So the first 2 days when I had mine, I just stayed in a dark room. And even going outside of my room and looking at the light would really hurt my eyes and hurt my head and make me want to go back to sleep.
Concussions affect players short and long term, but it doesn't stop them from doing what they love.
With the sports question, it's more so we're not looking at how it will affect you and how it will affect you as you play that sport. It's more how it will affect you if we allow you to play in that sport, how it will affect you long term. So the percentage rate for football players and get concussions is actually only about 6%. So only about 6% of our kids get a concussion each year. Girls soccer is where it's at. Girls soccer gets a lot of injuries. And so they're upwards towards 15%, 14%, and that's just here at McKinney High School. You have some that are a little bit more than that. Girls volleyball, it kind of fluctuates up there a little bit higher than football sometimes. Unfortunately, we had softball that fluctuated up there a few times. But you need to look at mainly the percentages, not so much the amount of concussions.
This has been Lexi Villarreal, Sydney Beck, and Sam Richards reporting for MHS1.
That's all for sports. Now back to you.
A new club provides students with more understanding on life's lessons.
Jack Porter brings us the story on the new group.
Last year, one of our English 2 teachers, Mr. Santana, founded the Inquisition Club.
I would describe the club as a bunch of really great kids that I had last year in class who were always kind of pushing the envelope when it came to things that we were talking about in class. You know, when I was ready to move on or go to the next thing that I needed to teach, I had some kids who wanted to go a little bit deeper. So I would say that the big thing that I want kids to take away is how to improve life for themselves and for the people around them every day.
The Inquisition allows students to dig deeply into topics that they don't often get to explore.
I definitely like getting to talk about more of the philosophical arguments, concepts that we don't really get to touch on in school. We always focus on more of the learning basics in math, and we never understand more the meaning of life and how it extends outside of school and education.
I like that it's kind of open opinion and it's like a free space. You can just say what you want, and it's like the topics are different each week. So you're more, like you leave the club knowing more about something.
If you're interested in having a safe space to speak freely with fellow students, come to E109 every Thursday after school. This has been Jack Porter reporting for MHS1.
One student has an unconventional furry friend. Zach Thompson, Lexi Villarreal, and Samantha Richards have more information on this interesting animal.
She's cute. Early September, Dallas Wildlife Center sent us senior squirrels in need of rehabilitation after Hurricane Harvey.
I have 2 gray squirrels from the hurricane. They were rescued from there, and it's a girl and a boy, and it's Brittany and AJ. Hello, want some more? So this is AJ. He's a 12-week-old gray squirrel from Houston, and he's super cute. He's crazy, and I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is Brittany. I named her Brittany because she's nuts and she chews out her tail. She reminds me of Britney Spears because she shaved off her head, just like this squirrel did. She's crazy. They're the same age, they're 12 weeks old, but they're not ready to be released into the wild. They're supposed to be released whenever they're 12 weeks, but they're still bottle feeding.
Her and her family's natural love of animals led them to adopt and foster many pets over the years.
It's hard, it's really tedious, and my life revolves around them. I mean, it is fun, but it's not like really easy. I think it takes like a different kind of person to do it rather than like just, I don't think anyone could do it because like I said, it is hard, but it's completely worth it. I love it. I love doing it.
When she first got the squirrels, they were about 3 weeks old and couldn't open their eyes. Haley wakes up early in the morning and late at night to feed them.
It's not something that everyone can do because if you have a busy schedule, like you can't do this. I can't really go out. Like if I'm hanging out with people, I'm like, hey, I gotta go home and feed my kids. I mean, it's hard, and I mean, I love animals, so I think you gotta love animals to be able to do this. I like squirrels. I never really thought that I would have some in my house, but I do, so I'm like the crazy squirrel lady.
This has been Samantha Richards and Lexi Villarreal reporting for MHS1.
A very talented writer here at MHS just published her own book.
That's right, Allie. Angela Sinecor gives us a story about Ellie Lantos.
Senior Ellie Lantos has pursued her ambitions in publishing her first book.
My book is called Callie, and it's about a teenage girl who had some family issues. Her mom abandoned her and her sister, and then her dad left as well. And Mom came back after 5 years and kind of messed up the whole dynamic that she had set up. Took me probably about 2 years. I started it kind of at the beginning of my freshman year. I didn't finish it till about the end of my junior year. I just like writing. I always have tried to write books when I was little, and they didn't go very far. And this one was just a story that I felt I could continue with and proceed as an actual author.
Her goals were achieved due to the love and overwhelming support of her family.
Oh, they thought it was awesome. They always support me in what I want to do. As a birthday gift, they paid for the rest of my publishing so that I could get it done quicker.
She paid for part of it, and then we paid the remaining balance for her birthday. I always knew that she enjoyed writing and that she would often go up and work on different stories, and she was always very creative and very interested in doing that kind of thing. I was really excited to learn that she had such a large story and that she was almost finished with it when she finally shared it with me, and it was really fun to read. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good.
As of right now, they can find it at bookventure.com/bookstore, and then you just look it up by Callie. And Friday, October 20th, it'll be released on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's website.
This has been Angela Sinecor reporting for MHS1.
It's another Friday night at Rompo Stadium. Our student section is sitting, playing on their phones, wasting their money. But what if it wasn't like this? Be loud, be proud, and show your Lion pride. Stand up at football games.
Lions, remember, it's a 3-day weekend, so enjoy your extra day of sleeping in.
Also, Beat the Drum sign-ups start October 31st outside the Stuka Room. Don't miss out.
That's all we have for you today. Follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News, and remember,
if it's news
and it's at McKinney High School, it's MHS1.
No, this is not a tactic to expose you, baby.